So the official title of the book, Gertie Sews Jiffy Dresses, a modern guide to stitch and wear vintage patterns you can make in a day. So how jiffy really is jiffy? Can I wear it tonight? Oofda. Hello and welcome back. Oh, hi. Hello, honey. Hello, my girl. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Sit down. I very much so needed to take last week off. The overwhelmedness of the completion of Halloween was much so needed. I physically was at a point where I was very much so drained. And so even this week, it's actually Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. And so I have been, I want to say lazying, but that's not really true. It's just more focusing on my physical health, making sure that the brain hole is not flaring up, and doing the important things to take care of myself. Since tomorrow is Thanksgiving, I am in a bit of a pickle. So Nick comes home and tells me that work is mandating a unit Thanksgiving family party, and I has nothing to wear. So instead of rushing out and buying something cheap from Ross's that I will absolutely hate, I am going to try to make something. Now, I always have tons and tons of fabric in the storage from hell. Plus, I went to Joann's over Veterans Day sales and got really great deals. So I'm kind of keeping my fingers crossed that I can use this really cute Scandinavian rust print that I got. When I bought it last week, it was not with the intentions of doing a project for today. It was utterly for, oh, that's on sale for $3 a yard and it's really cute and I really love the color and maybe it'll make a cute pinafore. You know, that logic that goes through my head that really does separate sewing and buying fabric as two completely separate hobbies. I bought 4 yards of it, and so I was locked into, if I'm using this to make a pinafore for tonight, then I have to choose something that A, I can make in under 4 yards, and B, something I can make super quickly. For a tiny hot minute, I thought about doing the super polarizing walkaway dress, but I know that that dress is not going to fit me properly if I just blow through it the way you are supposed to for it to be considered a well-cut, well-fit dress. Hi. And I would want to spend several hours messing around with the cut, messing around with the fit to make sure it was actually a good fit. And since I haven't done the walkaway dress since before I had Bay, my body shape is my sizing very different. So I don't want that. It's not going to happen. So I did a little digging and I remember having come across in the past Gertie's Pop-over dress out of the Jiffy Dresses book. I borrowed it from the library, so I didn't have to actually spend any extra money on this. And the pattern claims that it can be done in 3.25 yards. My print is directional, so I may need more than that. And so I'm a little nervous that I won't have enough fabric for it, but it is a super easy dress to make in that the only pattern pieces for it are The body of the dress is the same pattern piece for front and back. There's a pocket pattern piece. There's an optional bow pattern piece for the shoulder. And I believe the facings are even built in. So the popover dress actually is basically a trapeze dress. And the beauty of trapeze dresses is that they are super versatile. Belting it and putting it over a petticoat, and it gives a beautiful classic vintage silhouette that I love. The pattern comes with the waistband line so that if you want to make the waistband sheared and stretchy to bring the trapeze silhouette in, and that way you don't have to wear it belted, you can. I don't know if doing the shearing keeps me in that under 2-hour time frame. So I'm gonna give this one a try, and if it doesn't work, I'm gonna be wearing a Wookiee kigu tonight. So what time is it? It's 10:37 a.m. Start the clock. So because this is actually owned by the library, I have no choice but to trace these patterns. But the way she does these is that they actually have pattern pieces on both sides of the paper. And so either way, you're actually tracing them. Some people might find that to be bothersome. I trace my patterns for longevity anyway, so I don't view that as an issue. That's just my opinion regarding the project. I don't know. But I'm wasting time instead of sewing. What time is it?
The time is 10:59 a.m.
All right, so I'm done tracing the pattern. It's 10:59. So that is the body piece, and I need to do that twice. There is absolutely no way I can get 2 pieces on there and have my little Scandinavian flowers all pointing the same direction. Shoo, I have to figure something else out. All right, we're pivoting. I bought this the exact same day as I bought the Scandinavian floral. They're slightly different shades of brown. Still brown, still late autumnal brown. So I think I'm going to use this. I also bought 4 yards of it, but because it's not directional, I can flip the pattern pieces the way they're supposed to be according to the instructions, as long as I'm staying on the grain and I'm not having upside down prints. So if you are going to make this, you probably would need 5.5 yards, maybe even 6, in order to pull this off if you have a directional print. Just a tidbit. Time is it?
It's 11:34 a.m.
Okay, I'm done cutting out all of my fabric, and it's 11:34. So I will say I bought 4 yards of this, and I was being extremely stingy with my pattern piece placement, and this is all I have left. So I actually cut into beyond what would have been the end of the 3.5 yards. I don't know if that's because I pre-shrunk my cotton, and so I really wasn't working with a true 4 yards, and this may have just had a higher shrink rate, but I would have rathered it shrink now than shrink after it's assembled, so I'm not complaining. It's just a how accurate is the yardage. So the pattern has the external pockets as an option. I want to do them, and so because it's optional on the pattern instructions, it's actually the last thing that's listed. I personally prefer adding my patch style pockets before I assemble, because then I'm not fighting with other pieces of the dress being in the way. So I'm going to do those now. And this is precisely why I hate waiting until the whole dress is assembled to attach the pockets. But yeah, pockets are in. How cute is that? I think what would be really cute is adding a little button, like a little fake button right there. That'd be really cute. All right. Now, back up to step 1. Okay, it is 1 o'clock on the nose. I have the front of the dress assembled, the back of the dress assembled. So I just have to attach the front and the back at the shoulder seams, side seams, hem, armpit facings. But I have to stop for lunch. And I'm at 2.5 hours roughly so far. So I mean, it's definitely not a 2-hour make, but that's also considering that I did, in fact, have to pre-trace the pattern. All right, I'm going to go eat and I'll be back. Okay, I am back from lunch. It is 1:40, so I give myself a 40-minute lunch break, which is a good opportunity to stretch my back, not be shrimp posture over my sewing machine, trying to get into a good habit of actually taking those breaks and walking around. And since I'm still in good shape time-wise, I decided to do that. But now that I'm back, I also wanted to show you guys how this one-piece facing works. It's actually quite neat. So when it's all closed like this is the front seam, and then this is the facing seam. It's all one piece that you just do. You don't even clip this curve. You just open all of your seams, and then it lays flat like that. It's actually quite ingenious. And then from the front, it just lays like that. Pretty neat. Yeah. In working on the facing, I did find that I actually had to grade this a little bit so that it would lay flat on this side. I found that when I was trying to keep the same 1.5 inch fold over all the way up, I was getting a giant whisker in this shoulder seam. And now if I was doing a bow there, I wouldn't be as worried about it. But since I'm not doing that bow, I wanted it to actually lay nice and flat. I found that a little, but it is what it is. It's still a neat way to do a facing. And then the armhole facings is just bias strips that we sew in a circle and then attach the same way you would bias. So super easy. That's the facing. It's now 2:30, so ultimately 4 hours, but that included a 45-minute lunch and tracing the pattern. So if I went into this with the pattern pre-traced and had made it before to where I wasn't like back and forth with the instructions, I might theoretically have been able to pull it off in 2 hours. The other thing, and if I also hadn't made a mistake with the pocket, that added time too. So could it be done? Maybe. Whoa. It's plausible. The other thing, whenever anything is on a bias, it has to sit for 24, 48 hours in order to stretch out and then you hem it. I ain't got that kind of time. So I literally just did a super quick roll hem on it for tonight, and I only sewed it with a stitch, not quite a basting length. I think I did a 4. And that way I can take that out, let it stretch after tonight, and then the hem be tomorrow Robin's problem. Otherwise, this was actually really, really easy to make. I do think that I will make it again. I would like to try and make the sheared waistband variation. Hopefully I like the fit. That's where I'm at with this. All right, I'll see you guys in the reveal. All right, this one day make is done. It is a very loose, artsy kind of dress that transitions into evening really easily. I can see myself just putzing around the house in this as is, unbelted, and be happy and content in it. I also like the silhouette of it belted. So in that regards, I think it's a total win. One of the complaints, at least that I have read online, is the depth of this V is a little outside of some people's comfort zones, especially since it's deep both in the front and the back. I personally don't view that as an issue. I kind of view it as an opportunity to wear this as a pinafore. Tonight, it is 85 degrees, despite being a day before Thanksgiving, but I'm going to wear it without anything underneath it as is. I might grab a cardigan to go over it if I get chilly, but not super stressed over it. As far as the bows on the shoulder straps, like, yes, I see where it can add some cute visual dimension, but for me, I don't like things fussy in this region of my face, but I get it. So as far as the timeline, it took me a total of 4 hours start to finish. That included a 40-minute lunch break, tracing my pattern, getting a full start with the wrong fabric, and having to find yardage of a fabric I already owned in my stash that I had enough of, and accidentally sewing this shoulder seam into my pocket. So had I been a little bit more conscientious, had I been a little bit more prepared, had the pattern been pre-traced out for me, I think I totally could have nailed this into 2.5 hours. If I didn't have the hiccups, start and stops along the way. I think shearing this waistband would totally be very cute, would not detract from it being a cute day dress, but I think it would be a little bit more figure flattering to just go out in and not have to worry about wearing a belt. But for like right now, like, I'm perfectly happy just going swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The other thing is, I do think at some point maybe I want to go back and add a little button here, because it'll just give it like a little bit of dimension. It's already a fake flap, and so I think putting that button there would add to the fake flapness and just make it a little bit more cute. I don't know. I might also find it fussy. You never know. Totally a keeper pattern, and I am definitely not going to be needing that Wookie Kiku tonight. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me today, and I will see you next time. Oh, hi. Under 4 yards, and B, something. Okay, blow through it the way you are supposed to for it to be considered a well-cut, well-fit dress. Hi. Shearing to add a waistband to it, and so the versatility. Your feelings. That didn't take you long. You were like, Mom, that's my blanket now. Please move off of it. Please move off of my blanket now. I would like to snug on the big blanket. Thank you very much. Goodbye.